please.
Okay, we call the Economic Development Planning Committee to order. First thing on the agenda is discussion. Does anyone have anything to discuss pertaining to this committee? If not, we'll move on right to the resolutions. First resolution is a resolution supporting the Montgomery County Consolidated Funding Application, Chuckton on the Creek Trail Extension Plan. I need a sponsor. Legislator Pep, second. Chairman Pertell, discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried. Next resolution is a resolution supporting the Montgomery County Consolidated Funding Application, Canterbury Creek Trail and Foley Park. Need a sponsor?
Let's call.
Legislator Wilson, I'll second it. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, so carried. Next resolution is a resolution supporting the Montgomery County Consolidated Funding Application, Canterbury Creek Trail and Public Park. I need a sponsor. I'll sponsor in second. Legislator Kelly. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, so carried. And we do have an add-on. And the add-on resolution, which you all have on your desk, is resolution supporting the CFA application, BOA for the villages of Fort Plain and Nelson. I'll sponsor. Need a second.
Yes.
Legislator Kelly. Discussion. Straightforward. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, so carried. Anything under other? Hearing none, all those in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
All right, motion to adjourn, then.
Yeah, we got it.
1 and 7.
You're next. Mine? No, I'm just acknowledging you're next.
Daniel.
I'd like to call the Physical Services Committee to order. Anything under discussion? Okay. Move right to the first resolution. Resolution amending the 2023 establishing a wastewater treatment plant operator trainee for District Number 1.
Second.
Legislator. Any discussion? All those in favor, move it to full board. Oh,
Can we just add budget in there? Thank you. Okay.
all those in favor, move it to full board, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same. So moved. Next resolution amending the Resolution 245 of 2022 to contract for the construction service of shared service facility, Public Works. Legislator Pep, I'll second that. And, any discussion? Yes.
Eric, could you give us some background on this? Appears to be a little unclear.
Change order 6 was for several missed items throughout the design phase and things that we added that were needed in the garage. For instance, chargers, a charging station for the current fork truck that the county owns. There were several areas where we were missing 120 volt power throughout the garage for the mechanics areas, the welding shop. There was additional fire alarm systems that were needed above the ceiling for code compliance that were not on the original design drawings, exhaust fan switches, some lighting controls, some fire alarm and additional smoke detectors. It was a combination of several change orders rolled into one. But all the other contracts fell under contract, so we're not over on the project.
So I guess my question is, we have a clerk of the works on the job or something, or we have engineers that are acting as a clerk of the works?
Yeah, we had a gentleman from Lero Engineering was serving as construction manager.
And did the architect miss these things later, or is there something in the code that's changed?
The code enforcement officer for the fire alarms and smoke that got missed when we did the design as far as the battery charger for the fork truck. 120 volt power in the welding. And then there were some things that fell as part of the engineers that were discovered were needed.
What was the total cost of these?
The total I have on this one was 11.7, Ken? $100?
146 to 1158, right?
Yes.
In the body of the resolution.
So you're aware, when you guys did the bonding authorization for this one, Eric was trying to allude to, was that we're still, you guys authorize.
There was three under their contingency. So the credits that we got from those.
But they weren't under electrical, they might have been plumbing. Are
I'm
you
sorry.
the contingencies that,
Not for this contract, no, our general, we ended up getting in the neighborhood of 50 general contractor.
very good, I don't,
And what the total cost of the additions were?
11,777.
I'm just into the resolution.
Sure.
Showing, so down the road, we can look at this and say, I know there's a dip. You can take the 1158 and subtract it.
Yeah.
Let's start out.
I just don't understand why we're paying for missed by the engineers or was missed by someone else that didn't meet code. I mean, it did, so we're paying for stuff that, was missed on that end. I mean, I can station or paying extra for these things, but something that these engineers, I mean, when the engineering company didn't do anything for at the end of COVID, they came back and said, we need more money because the project's going longer. When everybody came and said, we need more money, now they made a mistake. I don't understand why we're doing that.
typically any recourse.
We did have a conference call the other day, Ken, myself, and the county attorney. And the county attorney is addressing those issues with Lero. As far as how the conversation went, I think you need to have her explain as far as where she's taking it, but, that's the county attorney.
I think it'd be best if we do get an explanation from her and see what our recourse is.
Then why would we be, she's not here to,
We have till next week. Let's I'll ask to make some notes that we talk to her and see if there's any recourse or her opinion on it. Valid point. Would you be so kind? Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor of moving to a full board, say aye.
Aye.
Same? All moved. Anything other? Motion adjourned. Legislator Kelly. Legislator Pettit.
Okay, we'll call the Public Safety Committee to order. First thing on the agenda is discussion. Anyone have anything to discuss pertaining to this committee? Hearing none, move on to the resolution. 2020 year operating budget, establishing an additional part-time assistant public defender. Need a sponsor? Legislator Pep, second.
Bill, could you explain that?
So what happened, the reason this was the first assistant left the position for another position with the county. And so this is a position that's already been established. And because of the requirement, assistant public defender, there's a residence requirement, and they meet that requirement. So to the office to determine or eliminate the position of the first assistant public defender and hire just an assistant at a savings of $20,000 because of the salary for the first assistant. Or the base salary
So is there any in-county requirement for that position?
I understand there's a law that be a resident of Montgomery County, and we haven't had an application from an attorney in Montgomery County. I think it's been over 15 years.
So we won't see the,
Yeah, we want to eliminate the first assistant and approve the hiring of an assistant PD.
thank you.
President Kelly?
For this is in line with all the raises that we
This
voted
is-
on.
Right, this is
Okay.
the base, this will be the base salary.
I don't want a couple months.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Next resolution is a resolution establishing the position of probation. Sponsor, Legislator Pep, second. Legislator Wilson. Discussion. Chairman Perdell.
Transferring the same amount of money, what's the difference between a probation officer and a trainee?
It's the length of experience.
The trainee is paid, I
Training
understand that.
paid less, and then after a year of training and probation, then they move up to a probation officer salary.
But the same thing, you budget, it'll show. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Next resolution is a resolution amending the 2023 operating budget. Turning to the sponsor, Legislator Kelly. I'll second it. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Anything under other? Hearing none? Motion to adjourn. Kelly. 6:13.
All right, I'd like to call the Education and Government Committee meeting to order at 6:14. Remind this committee of the whole, any items for discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to the explanation of this last meeting. And resolution authorizing the purchase of new voting machines and amending the 2023 budget coming to us from the Board of Elections. I'll sponsor that. Do we have a second? Chairman Pertel. As I explained last month, the cost of this is $383,000. We're taking, we made a decision after Chairman Pertel, both Terry's, and that we take 191, the installment he needed to put down on it, out of the fund balance, and then they'll put the remaining balance due the vendor in their budget next year to be remunerated to the tune of $51,392 at some point during 2024. Terry, anything else you want?
No, that's about it. Yeah, and I could possibly, with the new state budget coming out next year, the odds are that I would probably get another grant so I can put more money to it, retroactive.
You did go out to bid, right? You received bids, estimates?
Yes, I did.
Terry, do you want to tell anybody about, or tell us, who weren't there, about the nature of the voting machines? How state-of-the-art they are? I wasn't able to do that, as technically as you can, Cliff Notes version.
Sure.
Yeah.
Everything is basically on a smaller screen now. It's less of a mobile unit, smaller. And the voting machines we have now were purchased in 2008, but those were purchased by a grant. So they are pretty old. We do have a couple that are broke, and it's just not feasible to fix them because of the cost. So parts are on short supply because they don't make the unit. But obviously, this is a new modern voting machine, and we should be in good shape for another 10 years.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, we'll move that on to the full board next week. Any other motion? Yeah, yeah.
I should have brought this up during the economic development. Ken, you handed this out, were you gonna do a little presentation on this, or was this just for us to?
Well, actually, legislature, we had actually related to the CFA, so that's, what you see there is phase one and phase two.
Okay,
As part of the LOR that we had with SHPO, we had to do phase one.
okay.
So those resolutions for the two CFAs related to.
Related to this,
that
okay.
project, yeah.
And also, I should have brought it up under my committee. I know you're gonna have a press conference Thursday. Could you just do a little quick update on what's going on?
Really talking about the demo primarily, right?
With demo and obviously.
Yeah, I'm just curious how that's going. I mean,
Yeah, we had obviously the little bump in the road, but that seems to have been resolved and, everything seems to be moving forward. I haven't been told we're off schedule, unless you've got an update that I have.
No, we're still on schedule with everything. You guys probably haven't seen much demo work going on because there's still some abatement going on inside, especially around a couple of those other areas. And obviously, we set back a week and a half with regards to the soil situation.
They found some hot stuff?
Well, no, there was still some remediation had to go on inside.
He's not questions, right?
Is that the pump?
Yeah.
Asbestos, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
So that's ongoing, so they should. 2-3 weeks actual demo going on the outside. And then, from there, we're still on schedule by end of year, have that completely down, unless something comes out.
Yeah, I was just curious, because people keep asking me, see, things there, but nothing much going on. Windows coming out, but other than that.
Yeah, they're there, they're just inside, so.
Okay.
One guy in particular, right? It's a little, it's the email I remember seeing that he sent.
Oh,
At least last year when I was chair, he's, so many years and it's not done yet, and he's
Yes.
complaining, yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of anticipation.
Yeah.
Going forward, that's for sure.
Thank you, Jim.
Herbie knows who that is. Did we, all right, again, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
That would be big agenda.
Yeah.
About the same thing we're in there.
So are we going back into executive session?
I would, if we could, that'd be good.
There goes the over-under for real. I call the Budget and Finance Committee to order. First, any discussion from members of the legislature or the public? Hearing none, we'll move right along to the first resolution approving abstract of audited claims. We are going to change the date, the end date to today for July. Instead of 18th, it'll be the 11th because there won't be an audit next week. I look for a motion to come out of the executive
So
session
moved.
where no action was taken.
So moved.
Next, I'll look for a sponsor for the resolution.
I'll second it.
Resolution reallocating the salary grade for various titles within the Department of Public Works. Discussion?
The only discussion I have is that Chairman Patel is going to.
Yeah,
Get
It's,
more information.
We would like to move it forward contingent
For
on,
consideration for next.
for more information.
Right.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carried? Is there anything under other?
I did.
Prevagen.
Oh, you know what? No. All right, very good.
I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So, I'll second it.
We're adjourned.